right, yo, beautiful people. This is Nadir. So I'm flying solo today. It's Overreaction Monday. All right, it's NFL. I got to talk about it. Kev is so my company recognizes today as a holiday, so I didn't have to go into the office today. Kev does, so I figured let me get this venom out my heart to kind of speak a little bit about the NFL. As you see, the Eagle Green is actually on. We'll get to that a little bit later, but I figure we'll get these thoughts out of my head because I want the podcast later. My brother's pretty busy, so I figure we'll get some thoughts out of Nadir. So you guys get me today. Life-wise, it's getting cold out there. Ohio, the leaves are coming down. It's looking pretty out there. I don't want to spend more than 2 or 3 minutes outside because it's getting cold. The walks for the dogs have stopped. They go out back, and I'll go out with them and pick up their remnants. Although I did see something the other day where like there's a company that comes behind and actually does it for you. That's got to be a lucrative business because I got to think so many people don't want to do that. But nonetheless, being a homeowner, you got to do it. You have dogs, so whatever. My kids aren't old enough, and plus they're not going to do it right anyway. What else was going on? So I got a chance to see my brother in person yesterday. Him and a beautiful wife. They came over. We kicked it and had a great time. It's always great to catch up with them. But then I thought about it like, man, we could podcast, but the Sunday rituals got things to do. And you got things that usually have to, get pretty and pampered for the Monday. I didn't have to get pretty and pampered for nothing today. So I figured I'd just get up and you'll get the thoughts in here today. All right, cool. Well, shoot. With that out the way, let's start like we always do what we've been playing. So I know Kev he's got an OLED monitor. Shout out to him. We actually talked about that a little bit yesterday. He sees the greatness in it. So now I'm replaying all my computer games over again. But I'm actually still playing the Mario Luigi Brothership. I think I called it Brotherhood last podcast, but y'all knew what I was talking about. Fun game. I think I'm about 90% done with it. I'm almost finished. My full review, I don't necessarily know if it's worth the $59.99. Nintendo got to do better about these prices, man. They got to do better. These Nintendo games are really being like $39.99, I think is the sweet spot for some of their games. But the $59.99, I just don't think Nintendo, you should do it. They're going to get it because they pry on the nostalgia and also the Nintendo fanboyism. I do say the Switch is probably still my favorite console, only because I have so many games for the thing. Other than PC gaming, of course, PC gaming master race, you do that. I'm seeing a lot of reviews coming out for the PS5 Pro. I know Kev got one. Shout out to Jay. I know Jay got one. I didn't get one. I don't really see the benefit in getting one as of yet, considering I do have a gaming PC. Although I do think about upgrading my gaming PC a little bit. So I don't know. That might be a thing too. Nonetheless, whatever you say, the console of choice is the best one, you're absolutely right. It's all subjective, just get out there and play your games. But yeah, Brothership is all I've been playing, and I did play a little bit Ragnarok, play a little bit of that, but it's just time consuming. Like whenever I sit down, that's one thing about being an adult, is sitting down to actually play the games. It's like I'll sit down to play something and I'm thinking like back in my brain, like I'd rather be playing something else. And then also my kids are getting into gaming too. So even if I'll say I'll build another gaming computer, I'll have two, and just be for my daughters and son to play it, and without dad getting a chance to play it. And then Astrobot, play a little bit of that too. Some like little hit or miss games here. I know I used to get on about Apex Legends and some of the little quick shooter games. Like I don't see the spot in these, but like I do think those games were created for adult gamers like myself, who actually you don't have a long time, the long sessions to sit down and play a lot of times. You just want to jump in and play a game. I think that those games have a good following there. But one thing I wanted to talk about too, about gaming wise, is so I had people actually telling me about this DragonBall Z Sparking and saying how much of a great game it was. Now, mind you, I did play it. I played all of maybe an hour and a half of it, because the thing that I get though about games is like the FOMO sets in on certain stuff. And I thought that it would be just with sneaker. I'm a sneakerhead myself. I thought that would be a big thing, like with FOMO, because sometimes you'll see a sneaker come out, you're like, I gotta get it because it's like the big hype release. Video games are taking a turn here. Video games are doing this too. So when DragonBall Z Sparking Zero came out, I was like, oh, let me go ahead and play this game. So I jumped into it. I had FOMO, and I started playing it. And everyone was telling me how hard of the game it was. All the Twitch streamers were streaming it, and people were talking about it, like it might be game of the year, it might be better than Wukong, which you're wrong, dead wrong. So then we see why. The whole time I was playing it, I'm like, I don't really see how fun this is. I'm a big Dragon Ball Super fan, Dragon Ball Z fan. I think that's kind of what got me into Black Myth Wukong, because the journey to the West was actually a story of Goku. Well, not a story of him, but Goku derives from Village or Journey to the West. So as I'm jumping into it, I'm playing it, and I'm just like, I'm not having fun. It just doesn't seem like it's not grabbing me. Like, I've seen these stories, I know all the characters, I should have a nostalgic feel while playing them, but I just didn't feel like it just grabbed me. So then a story came out last week where it said Dragon Ball Z Sparking Zero loses 90% of its player base in under 4 weeks. And then it hit me like, oh, this is exactly how I was feeling. So it wasn't just me. It wasn't just a nadir thing. A lot of y'all felt the same way. Now, albeit these are just Steam numbers. So these are just Steam people that are jumped off the ship, so to speak, when it comes to this game. But it speaks to it. If this game was gas and this was so much of a fun game, then I don't think 90% of its player base would leave, whatever platform it's on. So it might just be fighting games aren't good on PC, maybe. I don't know. I can't say that be true, because people still play Street Fighter on PC. So you could build some great fight sticks, but kind of go back and forth between PC and PlayStation or Xbox, whatever your desired choice. But I still say I still do not know why I own an Xbox. I'm gonna keep it. Me and Kev are having a great time playing zombies. We did not get a chance to play this week. Time got away from us, and but I will say that though, Black Ops 6 Zombies is super fun. I have not gotten to the campaign. Kev keeps talking to me about it. I'm gonna actually play it. But back to the subject at hand about Sparking Zero. If this game is so fun, why did everybody stop playing it? Like, I gotta ask that question. Maybe somebody in the comments can help me understand why that is the case. But I don't really understand why a lot of people stop playing it. Although it could just go with the same feelings that I've had, which is this game just isn't fun. And it doesn't mean it's a bad game. Like, I don't know about anime fighting games being great anyway, because like all the anime fighting games, I'm a big anime fan, but all the anime fighting games, I've never found them to be entertaining. And I think maybe they're just trying to play back into like the feeling you have when you're watching the anime, or maybe they can't get the balancing right. I'm not sure. All I know is the game kind of came and went. As of right now, 90% of its player base is gone, and it's only been 4 weeks. I think that speaks to that, Other than that, gaming wise, I still have not purchased Dragon Age. I'm thinking about it. I want to get it. Diablo 4 still looks very interesting to me, but it's one of those games where I just know I'm not going to play a lot of it. I want to, because I do think I'm trying to find a game that fits that Destiny 2 niche, which is a looter shooter that's going to capture my attention to where I can get in and play sometimes, not take a bunch of thought. I know everybody like it with the builds and everything. I used to be totally into the Destiny 2 builds, all the missions, the secret missions, and I think that was the golden time around there, was actually the secret stuff that was going on. Now it's like I don't have the time to put into all those things. So maybe that type of game just is past me, and maybe I'm just the person, the old man on the fence ranting about that. Although I will say though, now that Kev's not here to defend himself, I might be the finisher of games. I've been finishing. Well, no, I'll take that back. He's been finishing some games too. Well, anyways, he's not here to defend himself. So I'm gonna say that. I'm the finisher of games as of right now, until he comes back to defend himself. As far as games wise, I don't think anything else is really going on. It's a good time in gaming. I think that whenever I look on my Steam library, or look at my friends list on Steam, I see a lot of people still playing games, and that tells me that gaming is still kind of a thing. The Steam Deck, I will say, is the perfect companion device still for me. And then the Switch as well, or they might be the same thing. I don't know. But yeah, gaming is in a great space. Let's see. Sports wise, LeBron is still out here acting like the GOAT. He's still year 22. He's putting up crazy numbers. He had 2 triple doubles the other day. I don't know if they won. I don't like these West Coast games are kicking my tail. Okay. I can't, like, I'm like 0 for 50 when it comes to West Coast games, man. Like, I'll have full intentions of watching the game. So much so, this is where I know I'm super washed. Like, I will be like, I feel like I'm fully awake. Started the third quarter, I'm into the game. Before I know it, it's morning. I don't really know what happens. My body gives up. It's not just a lay down at night thing. I think because when the sun goes down, I don't get like super tired. At least my body just, I don't know, whatever rhythms I think Kev said last time. I don't know. He used a big word, so whatever. I took it as disrespect, so I toned out. But it definitely is whenever the West Coast game starts, it's like I'm like 0 for 50, man. It was a good game too. Even the Memphis game in the Lakers, I saw it was pretty good. AD went down again. So with West Coast games, I'm kind of just looking at storylines at that point, looking at cliff notes. and seeing how they did. But LeBron is still doing LeBron things. NFL wise, you know, we looking at this week, so that happened that just passed. We still got the Monday night game tonight, but Bengals Ravens. It's safe to say if you had Jamar Chase, Joe Burrow, or Lamar Jackson, you could relax in your fantasy football this week because they literally went nuts. It was a great game. Another game. Started the fourth quarter. I thought the game was over, and then I woke up and it was like an instant classic. So there was a bunch of points scored. Nadir didn't see a second of those, but the Ravens pulled out the win. I checked my fantasy team. I didn't play against either one of those players, so I felt great about myself with that. I'm probably going to get a win because of that. But yeah, the Ravens pulled it out. The Bengals are like, what? They're 4-6 now. So I don't know if their season is over. It seems like it. I mean, the Browns still stink. The Steelers are looking good, so they're in that division. And then who's the other team? You got the Bengals, Browns, Steelers, and I can't forget the other one. I can't remember the other. Oh, the Ravens. So yeah, so they got a great division. I don't know who's going to come out of that one. Then you had the Giants and the Panthers. Listen, we got to vet these overseas games. I forgot that this game was even coming on. I'm not a fan of the overseas games, period. But like, you can't put these two teams on here, right? Like the Panthers and the Giants. Like, okay, shout out to my boy Carter. He's a big Giants fan. My dad likes the Giants too, so I never really crap on the Giants. But they got to know the Panthers are going to be trash going in. Like, it was a bad game. But even though the Panthers won, so I showed you how good the Giants are right now. And they have the ghost of Saquon on their back from giving Daniel Jones all that money. Although they had to give him that money because it was his turn. I'll take it back. Maybe they didn't have to give him that money. He's buns. He's not horrible, but they do a lot of cop and please with him. Oh, if he has time to throw the ball. No, he's just not good. It got on my nerves. Then you had the Patriots and the Bears. Patriots beat the Bears. The Bears have a bunch of problems. Caleb Williams is his name. We don't know if he's good or not. I think he holds the ball too long. They're going to fire the coach. He's a defensive-minded coach, which is cool. Fire him. Get somebody in there that's going to help Caleb be good again. But I don't know. It's Overreaction Monday, so I could be wrong. Maybe they'll turn it around and be decent. All I know, I have the tight end, was it Clement, on my fantasy team. He has got me no points in the last 3 weeks and it's ticking me off. Caleb Williams, figure it out. I always fall to the hype of the Hard Knocks teams, and they were on Hard Knocks this year. So here I am thinking, oh, they're going to be pretty good because Caleb Williams is okay. But then once I saw he painted his fingernails and was being a little bit eclectic, like trying to be outside the box, I'm like, all right, I don't know about this guy. Paint your nails, I don't care about that. I'm just one like he was trying to do it to like be odd, and I kind of worry about cats like that. But yeah, I don't know if he's good. The Bills and the Colts. I mean, the Bills end up winning the game. Joe Flacco's my age. What is he out there playing football for? Kudos to him. I salute him for getting out there and playing. I'm 46. My elbow just stopped hurting. I don't know what happened. So the fact that he can get out there and still play at a competitive level, I got to give him credit for that. But they got to go back. I don't know if they can go back to the young boy Richardson. But Richardson, here's my advice to you, young man. You can't say you're tired to come out of a football game. You can't. Just say like your back hurt. Like Kev said the other day we were talking. He's like, man, just say your back hurts. Just say you got your calf is locked up. They can't prove that. But don't say you're tired, man. So I don't know if the Colts can actually go back to him. Joe Flacco, he's been looking bad these last couple weeks, but his age, man. Like right now, I'm about to get my workout in today. I'm at the point where I have to work out for a week and then probably take the next week off. I can't do it consistently. That's just what it is. Father Time is undefeated. So I don't know if that's what's going on with Joe Flacco, or maybe he's just being Joe Flacco. Maybe he woke up and remembered, hey, I'm Joe Flacco. And that could be it. Broncos Chiefs. The Chiefs beat the Broncos, blocking a field goal with a couple seconds left, like a 35-yard field goal. Listen, man, until somebody beats the Chiefs, we have to just accept the fact that they're just the best team in football. I know that they're barely winning games, but like they're winning games. They're undefeated right now. In my perfect scenario, I hope that they fall short, or that something. I don't want to wish injury on them, but I just hope that bad things happen to their team. I gotta be. I'm hating at this point. At this point, it's just hate. They're winning too much, and they got my ex-coach. They used to be the Eagles. He couldn't get them over the hump. Although I will say my slander for Andy Reid is very minimal because I was never a big McNabb fan. So in my story, McNabb was the reason why they never got over the hump in Philly while he was in Philly, his tenure. But nonetheless, Bo Nix look pretty good. They're 5-5. The Chiefs, like I said, are 9-0, 5-0 at home. We got the Falcons and the Saints. The Saints put together a win. They beat the Falcons, so it goes to my point of how the Falcons are bipolar. This was the inner family game for us because my nephew is a big Falcons fan. Kev's a big Saints fan, so he has bragging rights with them this week. So yeah, the Saints pulled that win out. The 49ers and the Buccaneers, they got into a fight during the game internally. You got Debo trying to choke out the long snapper, although the long snapper did not back down. He was ready to, you know what I'm saying? He was defending this guy, the kicker, but the kicker was missing kicks. I'm with Debo on this one. Unpopular opinion. Bro, you get paid to kick the ball, all right? Like, I get he's a young kicker. You don't want to mess him up mentally or nothing like that, but you got to make the kicks, man. Then I won't really be the Debo. I mean, I want to be who I am. But they won the game nonetheless. Brock Purdy looked okay. I'm on the fence with Brock Purdy. I think one of my friends at the barbershop, he is a big 49ers fan, so I'll never really fully give it up to Brock Purdy. But if I was, he's not seeing this podcast, I'll say Brock Purdy looked decent. He looked good actually yesterday. And then the guy who got shot actually came back and caught a touchdown. Christian McCaffrey came back. They're getting healthy again. I don't know if they can keep it consistent because they, like with the 49ers, they get hurt and then everybody gets hurt on their team. So I hope they stay healthy and they do well. I wish bad things to them too, because we could potentially see them in the playoffs. Steelers and the Commanders. I still feel weird saying the Commanders, but anyways, they're the Commanders. Steelers pulled the game out, won 28-27. It was a good game. The Eagles have the Commanders this Thursday, so it's a short turnaround for us to get ready for that one. They look good, man. You know, Jaden Daniels, I must give it up. He's actually playing pretty well for a rookie or period. He's looking pretty good. One of my homeboys is a big Redskins fan, or I said Redskins. Look, Commanders fan. I still can't get it out of my brain. So I don't wish everything bad for them, unlike like I said about the 49ers, but I think that they'll be okay. It's gonna be a big game this week. You know, they're coming in off a loss. They're 7-3. So they're looking for blood. They're looking to get a dub this week. And the Steelers, man, hey, what can you say? Russ looks good, man. I was one that was like, why are you going to Russ over Justin Fields? And we left Russ out for dead the last 2 years. We didn't know if he was good. We called him washed. We got on him about all the positive antics he did, like, oh, this really can't be him. Maybe it's really him. But all that aside, he's playing well. You know, I can't take nothing away from Russ. He's playing very well. Got them boys playing good. What's the man's name? Mike Williams. Heck, we didn't even know he was, still any good. He got traded from the Jets. They pulled him from that team, and he caught a touchdown pass yesterday too. So it was pretty good. The Vikings and the Jaguars, I gotta be honest, I didn't see 1 second of this game. I saw a little bit on Red Zone. I saw the Vikings pull it out. They were throwing interceptions back and forth. I don't think Lawrence even played. Heck, they scored 1 touchdown, the Jaguars, in the first quarter, and then scored the rest of the game. The game was 12-7. Horrible game to watch. Not entertaining. You got to be a full-fledged Redskin, or I'm still saying Redskins, Vikings or Jaguars fan to watch this game. There's no, I can't even think Jaguars fans even watch this game because they knew they weren't going to be good. But anyways, the Vikings won. They're 7-2. So they're still kind of up in the air whether or not they're going to be the best team in NFC, other than we'll get to the team that I believe is the best team in the NFC here in, a little bit later. Then you had the Titans and the Chargers. Chargers pulled it out. Listen, Will Levis didn't play, so I didn't watch anything of that one either. The Chargers are 6-3 though, 3-1. Harbaugh got them boys playing well. Jets and Cardinals. Listen, Call of Duty is out, and what's my man's name? The little guy, Kyler Murray. He's still playing well. So kudos to him for that alone. You know what I'm saying? The fact that Black Ops 6 is out and he's still playing well. They pounded out the Jets. The Jets stink. Listen, the experiment is over. Aaron Rodgers, I don't think he's washed, or maybe I don't know. I'm on the fence. They're underachieving and they're not good. Last night's game, you had the Lions and the Texans. Very good game, man. But I do believe that the Detroit Lions are the best team in the NFC. You know, it pains me to say it, but I got to give it up. I'm a realist. They look good. Jared Goff threw 5 interceptions last night, and they still came back to win. CJ Stroud, come to the front of the podium. I know that you're missing Stephon Diggs, and I know that your line is a little bit banged up, but we know you're good. Let me say this. I think you're good, but you haven't looked good these last couple weeks, and I think that you're pressing a little bit. Some of them throws he threw yesterday were a bit, duckish, Eli Mannish type of throws where the ball was kind of in the air forever and it got picked off. So they had sweet uniforms. I love all the red uniforms. They got a good coaching. Let's see. They got Joe Mixon, who I have on my fantasy team, got me a touchdown. Amon St. Brown got me a touchdown for the Lions. So on the fantasy front, I'm good to go. Well, I don't know about you, CJ Stroud. We're going to leave it. Kev's not here to defend you, being a big Buckeye fan. So I'm going to have my feelings on it. Like, I don't know. You're under review. You're under review. But then we got to talk about the game that, listen, it prompted this podcast. Like, it prompted this solo podcast. So when the Cowboys and the Eagles always play each other, like, it's split for me as far as when I go to my barbershop. My barbershop is pretty much all Cowboy fans, except for one guy's there. He's an Eagle fan too, right? So whenever they do play each other, and shout out to Pops, man, Kev's dad, big Kev. So shout out to him with that. I'll start with love there, right? But we pounded y'all boys out. It's 34-6. I know that Dak didn't play. Jerry Jones has the $1 billion stadium. They can't put the shades up, so they missed a touchdown there. But I'll take from this, man. The Cowboys and the Eagles have been a rivalry forever. As a kid, I remember watching Emmitt Smith run up and down that field scoring touchdowns. My grandma, my nana, rubbing my back as I'm crying as a kid watching the game because we're losing, and she's like, "It's gonna be okay, baby." So my hate runs very deep. But so it's nothing more refreshing than to wake up on a Monday and just hear everybody talk about the Cowboys. The Cowboys stink, man. Listen, the Cowboys have not been good for a very long time. All right, they have not been to a conference championship and God knows how long. So it makes me happy. It brings joy to my heart. So much so that I really just I told my wife, say, listen, babe, we're going to go ahead and just fully dive into Thanksgiving is not the GOAT holiday no more. Okay. Christmas, you want to put all the decorations up. She called me at a moment. All right. And I said, you go ahead and do it, babe. You do whatever you want. The Eagles are good again. I can wake up and wear my Kelly green and feel great. But more importantly than that, the Cowboys stink and they have not been good for a very long time. So you Cowboy fans, I'm on your heads, man. Pause. I'm going to talk about y'all because you just aren't good. I will say, though, the years that I think the Cowboys were pretty good were the years that Romo was quarterback. And I know Cowboy fans didn't really like Romo. I particularly was afraid of him as an Eagle fan. I felt like he was a pretty good quarterback. But nonetheless, man, knock on wood, Eagles stay healthy. Fly, Eagles fly. Cowboys, you stink. You put up 6 points. You know what I'm saying? You put up 6 more points than I put up. And that's lovely. I love that for y'all. I wish everything great for y'all going forward. Jerry Jones, as long as he's alive, you guys will, stink. I'm sorry. And yeah, man, Jerry Jones is paying for his crimes that he did, man. If you know, Cowboy fans, Jerry was at an important, well, not important, but he was at a press. He was just seeing what was going on at a certain event, and it was a picture taken of him. Those sins will always come back to haunt you. All right. Nonetheless, Eagles win. Fly, Eagles fly. And that was it. We got the Monday night game coming up tonight with the Dolphins and the Rams. Listen, I don't know anything about the Dolphins. I just pray for Tua, make sure he don't get hurt. I don't want to see him put up gang signs again. If he does, they gotta cart him off. They gotta take, somebody take his helmet. Don't give it back. Give him no more helmets. So nonetheless, that ends up this week. What do we have else on here, man? Hip hop wise, RIP to Quincy Jones. Quincy Jones passed away. We didn't podcast since that happened, so RIP to him. Lived a great life, 91 laps around the sun. So prayers and condolences to his family, and RIP to Quincy Jones. Dope individual musically, brought a lot to the game. What else did we have? Drake. Oh, we forgot about Drake. Did a sassy duck lips to DeMar Rosen on the sideline while the game was going on. I gotta think that he was doing his Shang Tsung impersonation and trying to tap into Above the Rim and being Birdie from the Tupac character that he played on there. I think that was it. I think he had on the 5X Averex jacket too. Him and the dude Chubbs was on the sideline. They were staring at DeMar Rosen, and then when DeMar looked over at them, Drake looked away. So I don't know what to take from that. Drake spiraling. I don't know if you guys saw the clip of him at the Lotto concert. He's performing from the balcony. He has the two plaits going with the beads in his hair. Kind of looked like my sister back in 85 when she had the ballies in her head. That's what he looked like. I don't know. This is is he 40 years old? Something year old man doing these things. Some people can attribute it to being rich and say, oh, he's just doing what he wants to do. Okay, you're right, I guess. It's odd. As an adult and a person, he can do what he wants. Anyone can do what they want. Let me say that. He looks odd. He looks like he's spiraling. Okay, so I don't know what to take from that. Little Louisiana Fest 2024 happened. Drake didn't show up there. I don't know if we want to take anything from that. They had a Hot Boys reunion. I didn't care one bit. Kev's a big Hot Boys fan. Once again, he's not here to defend this, so I can slander it. Thank you, Jay-Z. I gotta be honest. Like, when I seen the performance from Wayne, it made me even more happy to know like Jay-Z is great in making the decision of who's going to perform during the Super Bowl. And even the narrative that happened during Wayne should be the halftime performer. Even Kev's a big Wayne fan. He doesn't have a catalog to do a halftime show, and I like Wayne. I like Wayne, but watching this Louisiana fest firmly let me know, like, okay, Jay-Z's doing a great job here. Thank you, Jay-Z. So I definitely want to talk about Freddie Gibbs, but we're gonna talk about that when Kev comes back, because Freddie Gibbs put out a project for Halloween, super dope project. But I want to talk about that in a discography of Freddie Gibbs. I think that Freddie Gibbs' discography now at this point is pretty good, pretty good. So we're gonna dive into that a little bit more when Kev comes back. And then the last thing I had was Young Thug. He tweeted about not being friends with Gunna. I don't really know what to take from any of this. Like, I can't keep up, to be honest with you. I mean, I can't keep up with the names. Like, keeping up with the names of like the Jordan releases, like what's the name of the shoes, like, hey, what's the colorway, what color are they? I don't know that way. And then keeping up with all these beefs, who's friends, who's not friends, it seems real high schoolish. I'm a bit too old for this. I think a little bit deeper, just all jokes aside, with the Young Thug thing, like, he got out in stipulation. He asked that he could still have contact with Gunna, so everyone assumed that him and Gunna were friends still. But he tweeted that they're not friends. So I don't know. If I'm Gunna, I'm confused. I, as a fan, am confused of them as well. I can't say I'm a fan. I can appreciate anyone making music and releasing art. I'm not a fan of Young Thug. Like, oh, I'm a big Young Thug fan. That's for my kids. They like him. My older kids. But for me, I can't. Young Thug can come or go. I'll be honest with you, it really doesn't matter to me. But I'll leave it at that. But yo, I just wanted to kind of hop on and kind of jump in and have a little bit of a mini rant. Like I said, I got the Kelly Green on today. Fly, Eagles, fly. Cowboys, I wish everything bad for you, and I'm happy that you're spiraling, I must admit. So get in the comments, guys. Let me know what you guys think. I'm sure Kev will come back. We'll do another podcast probably this week or so, and we'll talk more about it, and he'll have some slander or reply for that. Hopefully get Pops on, get him to talk about the Cowboys. It's always good, because Pops is a good one to talk to about the Cowboys. He's a realist. He keeps it real. But I'm gonna laugh this week until they play again. All right. Well, yo, this is Nate here. This was the Games Music Life podcast, episode 357. As always, drink more water, people. Peace.